Hello out there in a roller derby lounge room land. We've got just over a minute and a half to go before we kick off the third game. This game is Westside Derby Dolls versus Central Coast Derby United. Division 2 game, I believe. Let's run down through the roster from Westside Derby Dolls. Westside Derby Dolls are sporting pink and blue.
All right, we have less than a minute till game time here, folks. So
we've got number 7, Rory Spilmore. 114, Crotch Candy. 127, Crosby, Wheels and Smash. 222, Susie Quantro. 32, Scrim Henson. 39, Sadistic Smell. 425, Chronic Jack Payne. 460, Murderface. 74, Chugar. 88, Goldie Blocks. 903, Kapow. 915, Biffy Kaleido. 99, Belter Skelter. Now, what a cracking list of roller derby names. I'm going to have some fun with this today. They're up against Central Coast Roller Derby. Let's go through their roster. I've got a few on it. 0, Jugs. 10, Collective Bowl. 1111, Copper Floggin. 117, Irrational. 18, Ratbag. 22, Rogue Bludger. 26, Madam Mischief. 326, Howling Knight. Number 4, Cheesem. 42, Belter Goodrum. Number 50, Copperphilia. Copperphilia, what a sensational roller derby name. 519, Makita. Number 6, Mini Mayhem 88, Betty Boom. We're going to have some fun with this today.
A fantastic name, Copper to Floggin. Let's hope she doesn't.
So from Central Coast, we've got skater 1111, Copper Flogging with the Jam Star. She's lined up against Rory Spilmore, has the Jam Star for Westside Derby. Central Coast coming out hard and fast. Copper Flogging through for the initial pass. She gets to the back of the pack and gets knocked out to the outside.
Copper Flogging turning it off.
Hans sending the call signal from the bench, but good points defense by the West Side.
So nice and early.
0-0.
Double donuts for the first jam.
Both teams managing to stay clean in that first jam. It was less than 30 seconds.
99, Belter Skelter for Westside Derby Dolls in the pink and blue. She's lining up against Copperphilia, number 50.
Can't say right now. Number 90.
Copperphilia hits the inside line, looks to get through, but on the outside it is Belter Skelter.
Edge. Can she find it? She does. Westside Derby Dolls lead jammer.
Belter Skelter's come out lead jammer for the Westside Derby Dolls. Straight to the back of the pack and
it's funny, this year
is happy with 4 points. 4 points on the board for Westside Derby Dolls.
Looks like we got 4-0.
Typical hit it and quit it derby there. Westside Derby Dolls look to be here to play.
Got some Westside fans out the back there.
460 Murderface on the jammer line. The Westside Derby Dolls in blue and pink.
Westside Derby Dolls, but we have a long game. Every game here.
She's lining up against Betty Boom for Central Coast.
She's trying to push her way through to the front.
Betty Boom pushes. She's pushing for the front.
She's not the lead jammer, but she's in front.
Murderface comes out in front. Is not the lead jammer though.
The foremost jammer on the track, but with lead jammer calls it off for a safe 0-0.
Copperphilia calling the jam off. She was lead jammer. Double donuts.
And still the right-off skates penalty box with no skaters in it yet as we enter jam number 3.
Crosby, Wheels and Smash.
Crosby, Wheels and Smash lining up for Westside Derby.
Flogging once again. Looks like we're going to see a 3-jammer rotation from
against Copper Flogging. Copper Flogging gets smashed to the outside. Should be forced to be recycled. No, she won't. No pass, no penalty.
She's got the play on.
Couple flogging,
offense
it's
switching back to
thrown
defense
to the
by
outside.
CCRDU, but there was a no
She's
pass,
finally
no
through.
penalty in there, so
That's right.
so couple of flogging
Not
is
lead
not
jammer, couple
the
flogging.
lead jammer.
We might have a similar situation last time where the
Couple
lead
flogging
jammer
comes for
is
a
actually
spectacular
not
looking
gonna,
apex jump.
be in front. Crosby wheels and smash, lead jammer.
Crosby wheels and smashes, lead jammer calling off the jam.
And she calls it on the behest of her bench coach.
So
First points on
in
the board
that
for Central
time,
Coast.
took for Westside to earn lead jammer. 4 points were picked up by CCRDU, so it's 4 points apiece here. Early
Nice
on.
and tight.
Pretty low scoring for
Low scoring
this little
game.
jam, so I wonder if
Very
it's gonna
defensive.
persist or whether we'll see things start to stretch out a little.
Rory Spilmore lining up on
Rory Spilmore.
the jam line for Westside.
And as we've seen, there's a bit of a trend in 2016.
And Copperfilia for Central
dynamic
Coast.
start positions, the jam timer calls 5 seconds, and then all the skaters move.
Copperfilia gets forced to the outside. Should be
I like it. I think it's
recycled
fun
back a little bit.
derby, and it's certainly successful seeing all the different styles.
Rory Spilmore, lead jammer.
So the Westside Derby Dolls lead jammer Rory Spilmore coming up for some points. She calls off the
Rory
jam,
Spilmore comes in backwards,
hit it
puts
and
the
quit
points
it.
on the board. All
Puts 4 points on the
fingers held up
board.
in the air.
Copperfilia was good enough to get one there.
Footwork there. I thought maybe that she managed to put a wheel out of bounds, but it was good and clean points. Copperfilia, though, sneaking a point at the back.
Great skating there by Copperfilia to get to the back of the pack and just squeeze in
Brings us to
for
8
1 point
points to
there.
5 here early on in this Division 2 game.
Betty Boom up for CCRDU, first jam of the
Betty Boom for her first jam of the day
Number
for Central.
99, which is Belter Skelter, second jam for her.
She just bludgeons her way
Strong
through.
formation by the Central Coast ladies.
But it's Betty
Meanwhile,
Boom out
Belty, sorry, Betty Skelter, Belter Skelter gets thrown to the outside. She's getting forced to be recycled again.
Working out for Central Coast so far.
Belter
front. A very
Skelter.
slow pack, almost stopped at this stage.
She's pretty tiny out there. She's getting thrown around like a pinball machine. Belter Skelter.
Hold back, Betty Boom doing a good job right up until that point.
Now we're seeing a bit of a revolving door of blockers going
Betty
to the right
Boom
outskirts
through
penalty
as
box.
lead jammer. Approaches the
5
pack for
fingers
her
held up
scoring
in the air
pass.
there. That means that Betty Boom's just lapped Belter Skelter.
Betty Boom on the inside gets through for
Guessing that's another 5 points on the board.
5-point
Yes,
grand
it
slam.
is. CCRDU has put up 10 points in this jam.
We have a micro pack left on the track though, just 2 blockers apiece.
It does look like there are a 2-and-2 blocking defensive pack there. Looks like there's a few skaters in the penalty box, the Rydell penalty box.
4 points on the board for Westside.
Betty Boom, she's
Westside managed to squeeze
pushing.
another 4 points there.
She pulled it off there. It wasn't too late though. It was leaving it to the last second. And it was points awarded against lead there.
Westside 14.
So Westside scored a few more points there, so it does look like 14 to
Very close
19,
game,
a
which is
14-point
fantastic.
jam.
So we're going to start with Ratbag and Rogue from CCRDU in the right out skates penalty box.
And it looks like Murderface for Westside. Murderface looking to get through very well.
In the
held
blue and
back there
pink,
by
Murderface
CCRDU.
down the jam
Matched
line
out on the inside, but they get
for
play
Westside.
on.
When Murderface lead jammer. No, Murderface not lead jammer.
Westside.
Copper flogging. Got there a bit quicker.
Jump of the apex. I'm not too sure that paid off.
Westside think that they got lead though.
And we've got a cut track going here to the CCRDU.
So copper flogging has been called for a cut track penalty.
So Murderface, the only jammer on track right now.
It's a power
4 fingers
jam
up in the air.
for Westside.
Looks like if she gets through here, we're going to have the 5 fingers on the air, and she does.
And there's a full 5-point pass there for
And this is probably
Westside.
going
Debbie
to put
Dogs.
Westside in front. Yes, it does. Westside take the lead. Murderface looks at a gap, finds it.
Murderface through for another
board.
5-point grand slam pass. It is a power
So penalty
jam.
trouble striking Central Coast here.
Murderface
And
calling
she
off the
calls
jam. Squeezes through, and she's got...
Well, she's trying, but...
Oh, she attempted to call off the jam.
I think she's trying, and then she sees a few more points there.
She's happy with staying on track at the moment. She's looking
jam
for a few more points.
all the way on
Not enough
West
points
other than
for
lead
Murderface.
Yeah.
She needs a few
It
more.
always reminds me when someone who's not the lead jammer and trying to call it off, like trying to change the channel without the remote control. Just not going to work.
Meanwhile, for Central, Copper Flogging back on track.
That's right.
Oh,
Forearms penalty on CCRDU.
There's an aggressive entry.
Looks like
into
Copper
the
Flogging
back
got
there.
caught for a forearm penalty there by the looks. Just spent another 30 seconds in the penalty
Not
box.
really happy about that one.
Jam clock's expired there. Big point score, 28-0. That's going to take us to 42-19.
So that was a huge power jam there for Westside.
Nearly 10
Managed
minutes
to put
in this
28
game.
points on the board.
Good work there by Murderface. Looks like Crosby, Wilson smash.
Westside
Look at that right
go
off
to
space
42 to
penalty box.
19.
Oh, we had a jammer and three blockers in there. Hans calling a timeout for his team. They're just going to want to reset there.
I am liking the silver helmets.
So we've got a team timeout at the moment.
Penalty spirals
Looks to
can
be
certainly get out of control at times.
to discuss
You
the
need
last
to
jam for the score, I believe.
somehow reset that. It's kind of hard to do. Sometimes the more you think about not doing a penalty, the more you do them.
Exactly, and then when you
This
fly
is,
straight back out of the penalty box.
Track
and
one,
get
the
another
third
penalty
game on
shot
track
top of
one,
that,
the
you can really
2016
damage morale.
Great Southern Slam.
It just goes to show you gotta
This is
play
the
a
biggest
clean
roller
game,
derby
and
tournament in the
there's
world.
that
45
penalty
teams
going
competing
away,
over
one
2
take
divisions,
over the
5
race,
tracks and over
certainly
3
can put
complete
the points
days of
on for
roller
the
derby.
While we are on this timeout, we might take the opportunity to thank some of our sponsors. So Spank Alley, they are the official armbands of TGSS. Spank Alley stocks top quality armbands, helmet covers, compression pants, and lots of cool stuff. They are making.
I do like the
armbands on
tenacity
site
of
this weekend.
Westside Derby Dolls at the moment, having fun
Pants,
and
hoodies, onesies, helmet
playing around on the
covers,
jam
and
line.
much more. Check them out over in Merch Alley. They have high quality stuff. I have Spank Alley armbands myself and some new ones on the way. So I watch for this sponsor message.
Yeah, and there's fantastic stores over there in the merch, so if you do get a bit of spare time, go grab yourself some awesome team merch. I think that's over to the left.
We went through the roster, but I actually forgot to
Probably
introduce
gonna try and
myself.
get
My
you
name
able
is
to grab a
Mr.
team
Mayhem,
t-shirt from somewhere around
all the way from
Australia
sunny
on your
Cairns.
shirt.
I've got my woolly warm jumper on at the moment.
So
It's
about to
pretty
get
cold
underway.
here in
Big thank you to our
Adelaide.
officials crews out there working hard all this weekend, ready to call a good, strong game here. So we start this in a power jam.
All right, we're
Crosby
back on
Wilson
track.
smash, looking
West
to
side
try and
start.
Get through to the front of the pack there. Some big blocking
With a
going
big
on,
power
really
jam.
holding her back, but she's trying to find a gap, trying to find the inside edge, and does it.
There it is, the team ready.
Central
Got the
roller
pack
coast.
rolling a little. Took the
Central
big
Coast
turn
still
where the
has their
James had
jammer
a bit more success.
in the
And
penalty
now
box.
they
She's
set
now
up
standing
a
up. She's about to
strong
re-enter the
formation
track.
at the back.
Copper flogging.
Driving in with some active offense, it's great to see. You don't want to hang your jammer out to dry on a power jam.
Yeah,
You
Copper
need to get
Flogging's
those
just
points
come out of
as
the penalty
quick as
box.
possible.
You sure do. You got to capitalise on the time with the only one there. Crosby Wilson smash, just one left, and she's through.
And Crosby
5
is
points on the
through
board
for a
Westside
5-point
and
jam for
calls it.
Westside. She does call off the
West
jam.
Side quickly back in a
She's happy with the
strong
points.
formation, all defense. Copper Flogging unable to do anything about that one.
Unfortunately, it's hard to do things from the sin bin, but that's all right. I'm sure when she comes out next, she's going to smash them. Seen some great action here in track one today, day one.
Rory
This is
Spillmore
certainly no different.
lining up against Copperfilia. Rory
We've got a
Spillmore for
ref
the
timeout
West Side
going
in
on.
pink
I'll tell
and
you what, the
blue.
refs are the hardest working
Copperfilia,
ones
number
at this
50.
TGSS. They do like 50
Central.
million games and don't have a break.
Ah,
A little bit of tactical work here on
blood
the...
happening on the track.
The blood rule.
Safety comes first.
Not sure what's happening
It's
here. Looks a
of an odd
little
one,
bit of
but
an
it's actually
injury.
a ref that's bleeding this time, not a skater.
Yeah, what's going on there?
We'll just have a momentary timeout while that
Just
gets
a quick
solved. We might,
refresh.
finish these
Looks like
losses
everything's
here.
about to start
We'll
again.
just
We've
start
got
again. So
Rory
Westside Derby
Spillmore up
Dolls,
against
from
Copper Flogging.
Melbourne, 07 Rory Spillmore, 114 Crotch Candy, 127 Crosby Wills and Smash, 222 Susie Contro, 32 Scrim Henson, 39 is
It does look like actually we're in official
Snell,
timeout.
425
I can't-
Jack Payne,
can't see that official from where I'm sitting, but it is an
460
official timeout.
74 is Chuka 8 is Goldie Blocks. 903, Kapow. 915, Biffy Kaleido. And 99,
Fantastic opportunity
Belter
to
Skelter.
talk about Rydell.
74 is
The Rydell penalty box here.
I mean, sometimes we read the names, we're like, we're just going to read it out, but it's definitely Chuka. All right.
So just a quick score recap before the whistle blows. West Side 47, Central Coast 19.
All right, number 50.
Rory Spillmore lining up against
Copperfield. Up against number 7, Rory Spillmore.
Rory Spillmore takes a run up, likes the inside, gets shut down.
Copperfield trying to go following in their footsteps, but unfortunately it closes up.
Copperfield just wants to go straight to the middle. The gap opens up on the inside.
Copperfield looks like she's going to break through those front two blockers, but everyone else.
Yeah, Copperfield is straight out, lead jammer, Central Coast. Rory Spillmore, though, just comes in on the inside, finds the gap. Jammer on jammer action. Rory Spillmore gets knocked out of play. Good hit there by Copperfield. Copperfield to the back of the pack to put some points on the board. What will she do?
Everyone loves a bit of jammer on jammer. Rory
She gets through the pack.
That is a cut track for Rory Spillmore.
Rory Spillmore just looked like she got called for a cut track penalty.
Jam with the only jammer on the track.
So Central Coast will start in the power jam situation.
Holds it off and sets up a full 30-second power jam. Betty Boom going to line up for Central Coast Roller Derby United.
Here comes
Central Coast 88 Betty Boom lining up on the jam line, power jam situation. Rory Spillmore in the penalty box.
Betty Boone tries to push her way through. The rest of her team holding back, so they're going to really limit now coming in to give her a bit of a hand so she can get through the front.
Betty Boone gets through 4, wall pack on the inside. Lovely work there by Betty Boone.
She's now got quite a few seconds left.
Can she put a few more points on the board for Central Coast?
A nice switch from passive to active by Howland there.
Too easy by Betty Boone. Straight to them. Very strong skating.
Makes her own points.
Exactly. And Rory Spillmore comes in just right, almost on top of the field.
Rory Spillmore, the jammer for West Side, back on track.
Betty Boone driving away at the front, but she goes out of bounds. Recycled.
And ladies and gentlemen, can I introduce celebrity announcer just come to join me in the announcing box, Johnny Smash. Welcome, Johnny Smash.
Betty Boone touches the hips and calls it off.
The Rydell skates penalty box getting plenty of action here in the first period. We're going to start this next jam with 2 from
Hey, welcome, Johnny Smash.
Hey, I'll turn the microphone on. How you going, everyone? I was kind of walking past and I thought I might join in.
Lovely work, Johnny Smash.
West Side v Central Coast. You're in track 1.
It's been an exciting game so far. West Side came out firing, Central Coast coming back, 49-32 at the moment.
And right now, Copper Floggen has certainly heard the call.
Central Coast lead a jammer.
And she's now the only jammer on the track.
And that is Copper Floggen.
The West Side Derby Dolls jammer, which is.
And it looks like we've got a power jam. So Central Coast power jam. A much needed power jam as well. It's pretty close.
From the bench. Keep going, keep scoring. That's 5 so far.
This is the closest game we've had on this track today.
It does look like Belter Skelter's jamming for West Side. She's been just called to the pack. She's standing now, so she's about to rejoin.
And there's another 5 points on the board for Copper Floggen.
Copper Floggen with 5 more points, 5 much needed points. Keep an eye on the scoreboard. It is ticking over to Central Coast. Oh! That looked pretty. Oh, unfortunately.
Looked like some brilliant footwork.
Copper Flogging got a call for a cut track penalty. She made some air, didn't quite land it and came out of bounds.
Unlucky Central Coast, but we do have the West Side Derby Dolls jammer back on track.
Belter Skelter, welcome back.
You can see the shockwaves going.
That's the initial pass for Belter Skelter. Oh, big hit on the outside line.
That was Howland Knight. Big hit by Howland Knight.
Trying to knock the skater out of bounds.
They belt the skeleton over Howland Knight. Bruise on a hip now.
Getting back up when you do, and she's done so. She's straight back up.
Belter Skilder finally gets around Howling Knights.
As you can see, both jammers are back on track. The way it should be, both jammers on track.
It's always a more exciting game when you've got two dramas on track.
This is an 8-point game right now.
And that is a jam over.
That's a very important jam there for Central Coast. That's a 14-point jam,
Good awareness at the end.
bringing the score to 54 to 46.
And a handy 5 points to Westside. Westside.
Now, I'm not as huge with maths, Johnny Mash, but I reckon there's less than 10 points in it.
Hang on.
Having a team timeout going to West Side, which means I'm going to go through the CCRDU lineup, which got number 0, Jugs, number 0.
Not a bad crowd here on track 1 at the Great Southern Slam.
It's been pretty packed all morning. Actually, this is the third game on track 1.
18, Ratbag, Rogue Bludger, number 22, Man of Mischief, 26.
We had the Reef City Roller Girls from Cairns play Victorian Roller Deep, game 1. And then we had the Adelaides play Ward in game 2.
The Adelaides. I love the Adelaides.
And who doesn't love the Adelaides cheer squad too?
And that would have been a big test for Reef City taking on Victoria a little bit early on. Not a bad way to kick off their first day. Bit of a warm-up.
Yes, they're playing the second ranked team in the world, Reef City, all the way from Cairns. The first effort into Division 1 roller derby.
Of course, Reef City took Division 2 out last Great Southern Slam, so they've stepped up to Division 1.
They amalgamated between the Central Coast Roller Girls and the Coastal Knockouts. It's given them strength in numbers, it's given them strength in focus.
So on the jam line, we've got Murderface for Westside, lining up against Copperphilia from Central Coast.
Points the difference. Murderface, giving her Murderface to CCRDU. Look at her.
I'm digging the blue outfit. Westside representing here at the Great Southern Slam.
Oh, Copperphilia very strong. Looks on the inside, and I think she's through. Well done, Copperphilia.
Holds that inside line, rides the bump. She is lead jammer for Central Coast.
Murderface is about to get through. Yep, Murderface is through for her initial pass as well.
Scoops around the outside, not be outdone. Central Coast score the points and call the jam off.
Hit it and quit it, roller derby, happy with 4 points, Copperphilia.
A big hello and shout out to everyone watching in Melbourne, up in Melbourne, and everyone on the Central Coast. Hello.
4 points the difference at the moment. Central Coast clawing back to jam by jam.
Oh, I love a close bout. You know that. I love a close bout. Everyone loves a close bout.
Everyone loves a close bout. We've got Betty Boom for Central Coast.
Betty Boom doing the do.
Lining up against Crosby for Westside. Betty Boom, a lead jammer for Central.
Central Coast, lead jammer, a smiling jammer out front for Central Coast. Jammer for Westside Derby Dolls also through for that initial pass.
Crotch Candy, a nice little nudge out there, stopping the flow of
box. The Rydell penalty box here on track 1.
And it's only the third game, Johnny Smash, but the Rydell penalty box has been having a bit of a workout.
That box has been copping a pounding here on track 1 on the first day of the Great Southern Slam. Oh, nice skating down the inside line. Central Coast has that lead jammer status.
Yeah, that's fantastic work by Copper Floggin.
Oh, she gets the old sandwich, the Goldie sandwich.
Oh, Westside getting through for the initial pass. Rory Spillmore.
Taking her out, great defense there.
Rory Spillmore looking to put a few points on the board. Looks like she's got one out of that. Well done, Rory Spillmore.
Great work there by Goldie Bogs.
And that brutal hit was enough time to score Westside.
Still plenty of time left in this first half.
Change.
Oh, hello. Thanks for pointing that out, Chief. Lead change.
Central Coast by 1.
Oh, it's tied here at the Great Southern Slam. Belter Skelter down that inside line. Jamming for Westside is your lead jammer.
There was no space up that inside, but she found a way to thread.
Oh, it looks like the jammer for Central Coast is heading to the penalty box. The Rydell penalty box.
The Rydell penalty box, and that is Copper Flogging.
And the captain for Westside heads to the Rydell penalty box as well.
Oh, my penalties, that's not Copper Flogging, that's Copperphilia. What a fantastic roller there, named Copperphilia.
She's only little, but I tell you what, she's going to get through there. And she does. Fantastic work.
Belter Skelter through and scores the points and calls that jam off for the West Side. Keep an eye on that scoreboard. West Side just in front with 11 minutes left in this first half.
And we've got ourselves another lead change, ladies and gentlemen. West Side Doritos now in the lead.
Well, whichever lead change.
Murderface lining up for West Side. Does look like Copperphilia is still in the penalty box. She's standing ready to go.
Once again,
so we're kicking this jam off as a power jam, not for long. Let's see if Murderface can take full advantage. Around the outside, the lead jammer.
And Copperphilia comes straight off the bench, straight through the pack, and completes her initial pass.
And Murderface after the points, coming around the outside, but on the inside as well. Copperphilia scoring points.
Murderface gets knocked to the outside, but we're forced to be recycled to the back of the pack.
Copperphilia gets taken around the outside, has to come right in behind the pack.
It does look like Murderface comes through for a 4-point jam.
No such problem for the Blue Wars.
Murderface already at the back of the pack, wanting to put a few more points on. She calls off the jam, and she's happy with that 1 extra point.
Well done, Murderface, extending their lead with just under 10 minutes left in this first half.
65 versus R.
Damn those pesky scores.
Yeah, just when you think they're awesome.
Betty Boom for Central Coast lines up against Crosby.
So Betty Boom lining up for
West Side.
They have a block advantage out there.
Central Coast with a slight pack advantage.
Crosby tries to push away through on the outside, takes advantage of a small gap, but that gets shut down pretty quickly.
She went jammer defensive and just made sure that her team really had that jammer in control.
That's right. For one brief moment.
Oh, the ace Betty Boom, lead jammer for Central Coast.
Now she's fighting, trying to get
1-2-7. Crosby wheels and smash. It's got him through for our initial pass.
Beautiful footwork up the outside.
Betty Boom calls that jam off.
So that was a 4-4 nothing gain, despite all that work by Central Coast.
Welcome back to the jam line. Copper Flogging from Central Coast. She's had a good day today so far.
What are you doing to me?
Definitely a win there by Westside. That footwork is spectacular out on turn 2.
She lines up against Rory Spilmore for Westside.
Copper Flogging, sorry.
Rory Spilmore takes advantage of the gap on the outside. Lead jammer.
Scoots up the outside. Didn't have to touch a single silver blocker on her way to lead.
Rory just skates through those back blockers.
Rory takes that pack straight into the middle, gets knocked down, has to yield to the back.
Copper Flogging finally through for initial pass.
Spilmore trying to collect all 4 points. Did she get them before?
Rory finally calls that jam off.
Not sure she did. Copper Flogging forcing the call.
Scores 2 points.
Only 3 points.
Sorry, that's 3 points. I didn't see that thumb.
Making that lead a little stronger, 72.
It was a sneaky little thumb there. 3-point jam for the West Side.
No, just a quick confirmation, 4 points on the board.
3-2-6 Howling Knight lines up for the Central Coast for her first jam of the day.
Blockers rolling forward. Old school. We've got a bit of a run-up for the jammers.
What's happening here right now? We've got Westside sort of casually putting on the points.
Belter Skelter up against Belter Goodrum. Belter Skelter with the victory.
Belter Skelter getting through his lead jammer. Central Coast jammer heads to the penalty box for a forearm penalty, the Rydell penalty box.
Meanwhile, we also have the CCRDU jammer in the box. It's a full box.
And Belter Skelter coming through to put a few more points on the board for Westside Derby Dogs.
There's a big opportunity for Westside to extend their lead. Belter Skelter just getting told.
Belter Skelter the full 5 points, extending their lead. 6.5 minutes left in this first half. Westside versus Central Coast here at the Great Southern Slam.
The team coming in to help her out a little bit, knock out some front runners.
Belter Skelter zigzags away through and calls that jam off. Well done, Belter Skelter.
Well, so far, Johnny Smash, Westside Derby Dolls came out of the block firing.
Yeah, they've got to be happy with that jam.
Central Coast clawing their way back jam by jam, and only a couple of jams. Westside have put a few more points to increase the lead. That was a 15-point jam for Westside.
Murderface back on track for Westside, number 88.
And welcome.
Boom. Once again, doing the do here at the Great Southern Slam.
Going to see two different jammer styles here. A big run-up by Murderface.
Murderface just trying to smash away down that outside line. Gets taken out.
Driven out of bounds.
Both jammers yielding to the back of the pack.
Yeah, Betty Boom also got knocked to the inside.
It's always a little awkward when both jammers get recycled and no one stops going backwards.
Betty Boom being knocked back to the inside. She'll have to yield right to the back of the pack.
Nice blocking by Crotch Candy, the captain of the Westside Derby Dolls. Murderface is the lead jammer.
Murderface lines up the defensive team, punches through.
Murderface just smashes away into the pack and calls that jam off.
Mostly getting in the face of that Central Coast wall.
That's a good call. Murderface calls off the jam before Betty Boom can get to the back of the pack to score any points.
Just under 5 minutes left in this first half.
I love the face makeup. There's a lot of face makeup going on with this TGSS.
There is. It's certainly a little intimidating. I don't know how they do it. I sweat so much when I play. Nothing would stay on my face.
Betty Boom lining up against Crosby.
Finds the inside edge, but she doesn't. She gets tapped on in. Gets Copper flogging. There's two Coppers on the Central Coast roller team. Copper flogging.
Oh, like a flash.
Another strong lead jammer going Westside's way.
Crosby is your lead jam of the Westside. Copper flogging. All the ones is through for her initial pass. Crosby wants the points. Zigzagging away through the pack. 4 points. And calls that jam off. Oh, Central Coast may have scored a couple of points. 3 points to Central Coast. Well done.
Making it only a net one game for all of that.
67 Central Coast Westside Derby 96.
Six plays, 67. Still anyone's game. And we're going to see an official review.
Oh, we've got an official review.
The whistle has blown for an official review.
Same timeout. For over 70 years, Rydell has
No, it looks like Central Coast have called team timeout.
Rydell skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance.
Shout out to Spank Alley, the silver sponsor here at the Great Southern Slam. They do have the naming rights to the Gorda Track penalty box. They provide official armbands for the Great Southern Slam. They also stock quality armbands, helmet covers, compression pants, and lots of cool stuff. Roller derby related. Shout out to Spank Alley.
Johnny Smash, I do believe Spank Alley will have a few onesies in stock.
Oh, onesie, of course. Tomorrow is Onesie Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just wearing my boring old onesie that I normally wear, but I know there's a bit of action happening with the other commentators. Plenty of onesies on show tomorrow.
And not just the commentators either. I think pretty much a lot of the crowd. We've seen a few onesies here already.
Oh, the words got perfect for Adelaide weather. The
What's not to enjoy?
a woolen onesie.
It's TGSS.
Well, for Central, welcome to 22 Rogue Bludger for her first jam of the day.
Number 7 versus
Rory
number
Spillmore
22,
back on
number
track
7,
for
Rory
West.
Spillmore versus Rogue Bludger. Rory Spillmore's having a great game, KP.
A lot of these skaters are having a great game. Everyone that I've watched this morning has really lifted their game to the challenge of TGSS. This is the biggest roller derby tournament in the world with 5 tracks running simultaneously.
Rogue Bludger having issues getting through. She's finally through, but not quite.
Oh, unfortunately, Rory Spillmore heading to the Rydell penalty box for a forearm penalty. So the Central Coast Power Jam. Let's see if they take full advantage of this 30 seconds.
Rogue Bludger, the only jammer on the track for CCRDU.
She's pushing against a solid wall there, and she picks up.
Oh, she gets a cut track.
Unfortunately, Rogue Bludger heads to the penalty box. The Rydell penalty box for a cut track penalty. So keep an eye on Rory Spillmore standing up in the box.
And Rory enters the track because you can only...
Rory hitting the track with speed. The pack is speeding up. Central Coast setting up their wall out front. Rory cops a big hit but keeps on rolling. One skater to get past. She's through for her initial pass. Rory Spillmore.
Meanwhile, Goldie Blocks will have 30 seconds in the Rydell penalty box.
Rory Spillmore forced to yield in behind that pack. Central Coast pack comes to a stop.
Now Rogue Bludger is standing up. She's skated halfway around through the back of the pack to re-enter.
Rory scoring more points for Westside.
Rogue Bludger's going to get through a bit of traffic. She gets knocked out to the outside and she'll be recycled all the way back.
Rory after the points trying to extend their lead. They've got a few good jams in a row. Westside pulling away. And this is turning into a big jam. Only 5 points scored, but more points on the line. Central Coast haven't scored in this jam as of yet.
Oh, yeah, everyone's right in the thick of it, not moving too fast.
And that is a jam over.
And the jam clock expires.
So that's a 9-point jam to Westside.
Westside increasing their lead, 105 to 67.
Speaking of official reviews, have you officially reviewed these sponsors?
So not much time left in this first half.
I reckon we've got enough time for one more jam.
Enough time for one more jam. And a shout out to Hellcat Clothing, our silver sponsor. And they do have the naming rights to the Gorda Track penalty box. Do you want athletic roller derby gear but still want to be individual? Hellcat Clothing has you covered. Hellcat Clothing, our silver sponsor here at the Great Southern Slam.
Team uniforms, customized and personalized roller derby shorts, leggings, workout gear, custom.
Not only the silver sponsor there, but the Adelaide Showground, the platinum sponsor. Not only is the venue for the after party is where I was getting it there, Johnny Smash. It's the sponsor for the after party as well.
Oh, fantastic. The famous after party, which they have every time here at the Great Southern Slam. And it's just over yonder there, just behind the roller doors. Apparently the theme this year is 70s, 80s prom night. So it's going to be a fun night. The last night of the Great Southern Slam, just straight after the grand final.
Sorry?
And there is no television screen. It's just really a whole bunch of people going, this is what I reckon. And most of the time it comes out and they're like, nah, we're still right.
So we're still on this official review. Minute and a half into this review. We've got a minute and a half left of the first half.
The odds are definitely not in your favour, but
I'm probably going to have to break away after this half. We're going to about to call on track 3, so I'll be broadcasting on the track, so I'm going to have to make a run for it.
Fly by night, Johnny Smash.
A big hello to everyone in Melbourne and the Central Coast watching this as we speak.
Often just try and make it as wordy as possible to get more than a 1 minute timeout. That's certainly a strategy. Like, you've got to do the right thing by your skaters.
And the people watching around the globe, the derby-loving globe out there.
If I was a benchie, I wouldn't be past.
And thank you for all your lovely comments from coming from home. We've fixed our little fingerprint issue.
So head rep Todorod just having a chat with Muttley and Hans.
All right, it does look like
And we're about
play's about to get underway again.
The
Or is it?
poll stands. No, all retained.
We're just finding out.
Oh, so it was a forearms call that was reviewed, and the forearms penalty was taken away from the jammer. So successful official review there.
Thanks, KP. It was a forearm call.
So
That was the official review.
On turn one, right at the start there.
We're going to have to eat
And it
our own
was
words
upheld.
there, because we were like, no, they never turn these over, and bam, there you go.
So we've got Belter Skelter for the West Side Derby Dolls lining up against Central Coast. Central Coast's own White Wolf. And this could be our last jam. Could be we're getting low on time in our first half.
But it's not her out the front.
Betty Boom
Boom.
comes out firing, but did illegally cut track penalty for Betty Boom.
That's going to set up a four-wall of Central Coast.
Oh, did I say White Wolf? Betty Boom heads to the right Dale penalty box.
Belter Skelter still having trouble, but she's just casually chipping away.
Lots of blockers heading to the penalty box as we speak. Plenty of whistles getting blown.
Belter Skelter with lead.
Belter Skelter is the lead jammer for West Side Derby Dolls.
And Central Coast is filling up the penalty box. Look like for a multiplayer block there.
Right now, Belter Skelter's really
It's
on
right
top
on
of
Skate's penalty box.
Plenty of blockers
These
for
four,
West Side
No
in the penalty box as well. We've got a full Rydell penalty box.
So, KP, what happens when we have a full penalty box?
And West Side increased their lead at the moment by another 5-point
Well,
jam.
in that case, there was people standing, so they could put more people in there.
Yeah, wow.
Betty Boom getting through for our initial pass. Meanwhile, 5 more points scored to West Side. And that is a jam over. Do we have time for one more jam?
Possibly time. Well, given they won that official review, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it used, and there it is.
I reckon we can squeeze one more jam
Will
in.
this one just be a timeout?
1:15 West Side Derby Dolls pulling away there from CCRDU at the moment on 67 coming into this half time.
So it looks like the West Side bench have called for a timeout or an official review. So it looks like there will be another jam.
There's all sorts of things that you can challenge to make the refs like at least have a conversation about it.
Goldie Blocks, the real crowd favourite.
I've just got a little bit of the comments up, actually, Johnny Smash.
Krista Vale says hello from Melbourne. Hello, Krista Vale. I hope the pictures are streaming out there beautifully well. Day one of the Great Southern Slam.
That's true. What if you're a competitive dancer? And who says that dancing isn't a sport? Either way, they're here to play roller derby.
Well, we have 8 seconds left in period one here. 1:15 plays 67. After a couple of lead changes at about the 15-minute mark, West Side.
So when this official review is done, I think we are going to have one more jam. It does look like Murderface will be coming up against Copper Flogging.
Shouldn't we?
At this stage, anyway.
Last night.
I can see Vicky Kaleido's trying to spell something with her penalty count on the board there. It spells pleep. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds cool.
Now, I'm not sure if I picked it up right, Johnny Smash, but a couple of the crowd members were looking at Murderface saying happy birthday. Would I be correct in saying that?
I'm going to nod my head and say yes, possibly.
Well, Murderface, it's your unofficial birthday today. Happy birthday.
Once again, an odd situation. It looks like every single ref had eyes on whatever they're talking about.
So just to recap the score, we got Central Coast 67 and a West Side Derby Dolls
Subtitles.
115.
And it looks like the stream's heading out beautifully well. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve Ellis. Appreciate your support.
Once again, big shout out to our referees and non-skating officials. Of course, the referees are black and white and out of sight and do a beautifully great job here at the Great Southern Slam. The big days of officialing ahead of them.
Flogging, lining up against Murderface.
It looks like we do have time for one more jam.
There are only 2 blockers here for CCRDU.
Murderface versus Copper Flogging.
Line 'em up.
Murderface on the outside. She's through. Lead Jammer, Murderface.
There was a big gap around the outside for Murderface to roll through Lead Jammer. Copper Flogging is copping a flogging out front. Gets through. She's through for initial pass, but Murderface wants the points.
Is Murderface going to hit it and quit it, or is she just going to keep lapping?
Gets knocked down on the outside, calls that jam off. Might have been a bit of a late call. Keep an eye on those referees. How many points scored? No points scored to Central Coast. And I believe that looks like 2 points to Westside.
Yes, that's 2 Westside fingers in the air for 2 points.
And that is halftime. Westside v Central Coast. We're going to have a short break. I'm going to head over to track 3 and call about. I'm going to leave you here. Love you and leave you.
Typical Johnny Smash style coming in halfway through and leaving before it finishes.
Sorry to leave you
Johnny
hanging,
Smash.
but I got to keep on moving. See you later. Bye.
They probably won't tell you.
Well, welcome back for the second half. We've got about less than a minute before it kicks off. Just a quick recap of the first half. West Side came out firing, a couple of nice big jams, a couple of big power jams. Central Coast, jam by jam, caught up, hit the lead. It was a big 15-point jam. Central Coast hit the lead. And from then on, it's been West Side for the last 3 or 4 jams. A couple of big 10 or 15-point jams there. It does look like 67 at the moment, Central Coast. 117 West Side.
But we're about to get underway for period 2.
For those of you at home, I am Mr. Mayhem doing it solo at the moment. Johnny Smash, celebrity Johnny Smash, has gone back to track 3.
For Central Coast Roller Derby United's Valkyries.
Crosby lining up for West Side. She lines up against Copper Floggin.
West Side Derby Dolls.
Copper Flogging in the inside gets a big hit.
Both holding back the jammers at this stage. Copper
Flogging to the outside gets called for a forearm penalty. It becomes a power jam.
Forearms penalty.
Yeah, just pushed her way through that wall. Ref deemed it was illegal forearms.
So Crosby comes out the lead jammer. She's through the pack in the power jam situation as Copper Flogging will spend 30 seconds for a forearm.
Front blockers from CCRDU. And the CCRDU.
Crosby's getting a little bit of attention from the Central Coast blockers, but he's through. There's 5 in the sky.
West Side continuing period 2 the way they finished period 1 with a strong 5 points.
5-point jam so far for West Side. Can Crosby add to it? Looks like she's planning through. She's got 2 more blockers to get past.
Unfortunately for Crosby, though, a nice recycle by Howard.
Crosby calling off the jam. I think she got 4 points for that round. That looks like a 9-point jam.
Without getting out of the pack, but she did pick up all those blocker points.
Rory Spillmore, welcome back to the jam line.
Number 50, Copperfilia.
Copperfilia, number 50. Jamming for Central Coast.
Again, that dynamic start formation really mixing things up for both teams.
Oh, Rory Spillmore gets a big hit. She gets straight back up again. I think she's made a rubber.
She's just been sent off.
Bit of a pile up there on turn.
Meanwhile, Copperfilia for Central Coast, number 50, lead jammer, approaching the back of the pack to put some points on the board. She gets through, no problems at all. What a great jam there, calling off the jam. Happy with 4 points.
Copperfilia calls it after getting her points.
Now this so far has been Central Coast's tactical work. They jam by jam will crawl back.
I can see number 7-4.
Copperfilia happy with 4 points.
West Side is on 4. Number 915, Biffy Kaleido's on 5.
Betty Boom for Central Coast lining up against Belter Skelter for West Side. Betty Boom on the inside, very strong skating, gets knocked in though, she'll have to recycle all the way back. Fantastic work there from Crotch Candy, the captain.
Betty Boom through the pack for initial pass.
Meanwhile, Belter Skelter coming around to put some points.
Look at that
It's a 4-point jam so far. She's looking at her bench for some advice, and she's going around again for another lap.
Oh, what am I doing here?
Thanks, Robert Daniels. Appreciate the support back home. Betty Boone from Central Coast coming around, put some points on the board for them. She gets a big block and gets thrown to the inside just after the final whistle.
A big call coming from the Central Coast bench, asking for the track cut on the jammer. Outside pack referee is signalling a no pass, no penalty.
So that was 8 points apiece for that jam.
You out of the line, the only ones out there right now.
An interesting jam, despite lead going
Now I am going to
West
predict
side,
Central Coast
that
will
was an
come
8-8
back
net result.
a little bit at a time. They're playing very smart
Official
derby.
review's been called.
Interesting, using that just 4 minutes into this second period. Official reviews can become quite critical towards the end of the game.
Now we get an
so
official
they must be
review.
really confident to call it this early on. While they're doing that,
I'd love to tell you at home what's happening, but I missed.
over on the grey side, Central
I missed all that. It looks like
1-1-1. That is Copper flogging. She's been in high rotation jamming, and she has 4 trips.
I'm just overhearing a few other conversations going, but it looks like Copper Flogging hit a front cut.
Who you'll see standing in the penalty box right now. She's on 5. And number
Does
4,
look like
that'll be Belter Goodrum. She's
Copper
on
Flogging
4.
was or was not called for a cut as she came through the front of
Well,
that
it
pack.
looks like Helen's on 6.
But we'll get back to you as soon as we've got some official results.
Lovely Anna Sosa pointing out her extra penalty which she is currently standing for.
She does have a cool tat on her shoulder. So maybe we should
Meanwhile, a
take
huge
that
shout
penalty
out
for
to
the
the
cool
Adelaide
tat.
Showgrounds. They are a
Yeah,
platinum
CCRDU.
sponsor here. And it's a great venue. We've got 5 tracks. This is track number 1. There are 4 tracks on the other side,
Exactly.
which means at any one time there's possible 5 games of roller derby
And good
happening.
behaviour, removal of penalties. Exactly.
That's a minute and a half so far in this official review.
I definitely think tire jamming.
We're still not any closer to working out
Yeah.
what's going on here.
I worked hard.
They kick in at like the 3rd scoring pass, and if you do something silly, it doesn't count.
Exactly. All right, you get away with it this time.
All right, the official review has been completed. They retained the official review, apparently. Sounds like...
Pause for dramatic moment.
So it sounds like there was an incorrect verbal cue was issued, and thus the official review will be retained. Whether that changes
So whatever
anything,
the
I don't think so.
whatever the review
Change
happened,
anything that ref
there's
come
no
up
result.
officially.
So that's a
It is
2
an
minutes.
officiating error.
2 minutes we'll never get back,
You still get retained.
thanks to the Rydell penalty box.
26 minutes left to play. 1:30, 79. Lots of time for anything to happen. I'll see how we go. Flogging against Murderface.
So Murderface on the jammer line for West Side.
Aggressive jamming style.
Copper Flogging still jamming for Central.
And manages to draw a
Copper Flogging
multiplayer.
still out, lead jammer.
While all that was going on, Copper Flogging just puts the gas down and earns lead.
Copper Flogging through for the initial pass. You want to put a few points on the board. Murderface through for her initial. Copper
Points
Flogging.
on the board.
Great work there. She's going to put on the pace. No, she calls off the jam before Murderface can get to the back of the pack. Very smart roller derby there by Central Coast.
Central Coast.
There's another 4 point closer to victory.
We've certainly seen this team in their previous tournaments can knuckle
Central
down.
Coast has got a few fans in the crowd. There's a bit of a chant. CCRD.
Seeing penalties
There's a bit of a
going
chant.
their way.
Yeah.
25 minutes left. Penalty board certainly not in their favour at the moment.
Copperfield straight out into the action, tries to break through those back blockers. And
So, skater number 50, Copperphilia for Central Coast, comes out firing lead jammer.
It's just bang, crash, lead.
Crosby still held up in the
Crosby is the
Copperfield
jammer
looking
for
to
the
put
West
some points
Side
on the
Derby doll.
board
She's
there.
being held up at the back of the pack. Copperfilia comes out for a 4 point pass.
4 clean points for Copperfield.
And she's going to come around for a second bite of the cherry. No, she won't. She'll call it off. Another 4 points closer.
And good afternoon, Mr. Mayhem. How are you doing?
Absolutely magnificent. Welcome back to the Track 1 live feed here against Central Coast versus West Side Derby Dolls.
And good afternoon, Derby fans. I am the Flat Track Protocol. I'm picking up the mic and filling in here a little bit. I'm actually in the middle of another job too. I'm vision switching this game. So bear with me. I might not be talking the whole time. I'll leave that to Mr. Mayhem, but I'm going to give him a hand and just be another voice on the stream.
Magnificent work. Never have enough voices over the microphone.
And
meanwhile, Betty Boom, sorry to talk over the top, Betty Boom from Central Coast Lead Jammer.
Managed to sneak on through. Has she put points? No, she hasn't. There's 2 points on the board for CCRDU.
Betty Boom's got 2 more points closer. The last 3 jams in a row, Central Coast has caught up.
Big shout out to all the folks at home, especially those watching CCRDU. All our regular Down Under Derby TV viewers are well familiar with this team, and you're on track number 1 at the Great Southern Slam.
Couple of flogging jamming for Central Coast again. And he's through for Lead Jammer. I've just lost the jammer there, but that is number 99, Belder Skelder. She's skating around the outside of the track for a track cut. Meanwhile, a couple of flogging puts 5 points on the board.
She's going to be trying to put some points on the board and really give them a flogging.
Couple of flogging to the back of the pack. She'll be looking to put some more point advantage. It's now a power jam situation, so she want to put the hammer down.
And as if on cue, that theme song coming from the cheer squad over on turn 2.
Couple of flogging gets recycled to the back of the pack. Start again.
Some nice offense coming from Minnie there, separating the wall. Put a beat, but Copper going down hard.
Meanwhile, Belder Skelder is in the penalty box. She's standing up. She's ready to go. And she enters the back of the, enters the track.
She took a big hit, but she's taking the pads out and she's
Copper Floggin's just come around for another 5-point score pass. And Belder Skelder
setting things up.
He's trying to get through for her initial pass, I believe.
She collects that right point as a natural grand slam.
Copper flogging around for another 5 points. It's a 15-point jam so far.
Left on the track.
Well, that's 15 points that Central Coast desperately need at this point of game to remain relevant with 21 minutes left.
Sensational work. Cool by core, jam by jam. Copper flogging. Clinical almost.
There's now only 26 points the difference. They're really closing this margin, and they're in a great position to put some more points on the board right now, especially considering there's
Copper Feely lining up for Central Coast. No, what have we got?
Jam there for Central Coast.
That is 5-0 Copperphilia.
It is. It does look like we've got a team timeout at the moment for West Side.
Copperphilia's first season with CCRDU this year. She's a former Inner West skater and one that I used to coach.
Oh, magnificent work. She's outperforming today.
How's that board looking? We got number 1.
She hasn't been jamming as heavily as she used to in the 5x5 tournament this year, but that's largely to do with Central Coast's existing roster.
It is always nice to see the young kids go through and send them out to the world, to the Great Southern Slam. Must be like a proud dad.
It is like that, yeah. I feel that way when I watch Por Favor at VRDL, because she's another one that's a former Inner Westie that I coached through Fresh Meat.
Fabulous work.
So, yeah, to all of the skaters I've ever coached, big shout out, and it's good to see you all here in different ways, in different teams, and performing well, especially Copperphilia in this game, and of course to the rest of Central Coast who regularly feature on our coverage.
And the Great Southern Slam, held every 2 years here in Adelaide, is almost like the national titles.
Oh, it is the national titles, isn't it?
It's the family event that brings roller derby together every 2 years.
And it's certainly come a long way in its life. In 2010, it was an amazing event, and it has only gotten better every 2 years since.
Meanwhile, Murderface back on track. She's through the pack, but not quite fast enough for Copperphilia. Copperphilia lead jammer.
And Murderface just getting to a wall of 4 to be...
Murderface did well, but Copperphilia's got some pace. Copperphilia through the pack, calling off the jam. She takes 4 points, is that? Copperphilia for 3 points. That is great skating.
So that you've got to call that one a win for Westside to come from just one blocker on the track.
23-point differential now, going into 20 minutes left of period 2, the last period of play here in game number 3 on track 1, the Great Southern Slam, in the amazing Adelaide Showgrounds.
And Betty Boom for Central Coast is almost through, but got caught for a cut track penalty.
Betty Boom, I don't think your wheels actually touched the ground that whole way around the corner. It was all
Now this would be an opportunity for Crosby here to increase the lead and to settle the score.
Crosby was in smash, getting knocked out, but she's going straight back in right now.
She was recycled back to the back of the pack there by Copper Flogging. She's still fighting her way through the pack though. Knocked to the outside again and steps back in. It was Copper Flogging a second time. She's certainly copping a flogging from Copper Flogging.
She certainly copped the flogging today, that's for sure. Crosby getting through the pack, calling off the jam. She takes 5 points, 5 valuable points for Westside. Now, if you're a Westside fan at home, you can't sit still, I'd believe. There'd be no fingernails left. This is going to go down to the wire. Central Coast are coming.
And for all those Derby fans at home who aren't familiar with the animation that is Hands Off a Backbench manager for Central Coast RDU, we have a regular call out at home for the Hans Cam.
I love it.
Rory Spillmore not needing any active offense. She is happy to just earn lead all by herself there.
Meanwhile, Westside lead jammer. We've got Rory Spillmore.
And she'll try to put some points on the board. Looks for a tiny little gap there. Number 26 is really holding her back, but unable to stop her. Rory's
Betty Boom gets stuck in some heavy traffic. Rory Spillmore comes out. That's a 5-point pass for Westside and Rory Spillmore. Rory Spillmore coming to the back of the pack.
Rory takes another look, tries to get through some of those silver hats.
Whereas Betty Boom, she's stuck in some traffic. She's about to be recycled to the back of the pack.
Right there, and there's 4 of them. But she's doing pretty good.
Rory Spillmore takes on 4 defenders, squeezes through, gets knocked to the ground. All that hard work for nothing. She'll be back to start that assault all over again. Meanwhile, in the carnage, Betty Boom comes out for her initial pass.
Betty Boom takes a few hits, but just keeps on shoving.
Lovely work by Rory Spillmore. She's happy with 4 there, that last round. That was a 9-point jam in total to Rory Spillmore. That gives Westside a little bit more breathing space. Plenty of time left in the game. Just over 17 minutes in the second half.
Oh, some beautiful footwork by Helter Skelter.
Copper Flogging struggling to get through those back blockers, but now they're both through.
Westside out lead jammer.
Copper Flogging not far behind her at all, puts the pace down, forces the call off.
Great work by Copper Flogging. Belter Skelter. Jammer on jammer action. Belter Skelter didn't want the hassle, calling off the jam.
And official reviews.
He looks pretty confident.
He does.
He thinks he's going to get this one. Let's see if stats.
What have we got, an official timeout?
Official review called by Hans Offerback of Central Coast United. And according to the house announcers, looking very confident about his official reviews. So,
well, the referees are certainly in the best spot to see all the action live on track.
And the second best spot to see all of the action is at home on the Great Southern Slam YouTube channel.
Absolutely it is. Put your panties on your head. This is a game you can play at home.
And then they fell over. It was like a...
And that's fundamentally why I reckon I should be voted president of the world.
Now, this game wouldn't happen without these fantastic officials, the NSOs and the referees.
And all of the volunteers that make roller derby happen. We send them, well, it makes them happy too, but we send you all heartfelt thanks for supporting our support, whether that's just helping out at scrimmage in your local league or down here at Champs or TGSS and helping out however you can. So big thanks to all of you who help.
And a huge shout out to Adelaide Roller Derby. What an amazing event. This is such a professional, well-run organisation.
Look, they've had some practice at it now. They've done it really well for a few years. I'm not at all surprised they've managed to pull off number 4 in such spectacular style, but you know what? It is bigger, better, brighter than everyone before, and I have seen them all.
Well, if this is bigger, better and brighter than last year, this after party is going to be insane.
Yes, Monday night here at the Wavell Showgrounds, there will be the official TGSS after party. If you haven't made it to Adelaide for the tournament, come down for that.
80s themed prom night,
The
I believe.
80s prom, yep, and I have seen some sneak previews of some of the prom props, and they are outrageous.
So that's Monday night. That won't be telecast, but you can play this game at home. Get your 80s and 90s gear out.
And grab a bottle of your favourite beverage and drink along at home.
Oh, if it was back in the 80s, it'd be spumante for me.
Oh dear.
Very ordinary. Probably shouldn't have admitted that live online, but...
So I'm guessing by the look at his face that the review is not returned.
No.
And the call on the track stands.
So it sounds like the official review has been overturned by the refs. The call on the track stands. We're not exactly sure over here what they were reviewing, but looks like we're back to the action.
Back to the action. It does look like we've got Copperfield comes out of the pack first, trips over her own shoelaces by the looks of it. Murderface was taken down in the carnage.
And given a track cut as part of it. Oh, actually, no, the track cut was to 5-0. Copperfield from Central Coast United. Both jammers on their way to the Rydell penalty box.
So Jammer 1, Murderface sits down. Jammer 2, Copperfield sits down. Murderface is released back on track. Copperfield is now released back on track.
Well, even though it looked like both skaters were trying to skate on their faces, it doesn't seem to
Copperfield gets a big hit but comes out. She's through for her initial
Face
pass.
skate's not actually in the handbook, but it's a technique used by some skaters.
Murderface through for her initial pass. Copperfield to the back of the pack. She'll be looking to put some points on the board. She gets some heavy traffic. She gets knocked out of play. And she's about to be recycled to the back of the pack.
Scrim Henson forcing Copperfield out of bounds, staying within the track confines herself.
Meanwhile, Murderface through. She's put 4 points on the board for Westside.
And we don't have a lead jammer because both these jammers were penalised.
Shout out to Major Skate Holder at home or wherever you happen to be watching the stream if you're not at home. And thank you for your feedback. We'll get to fixing that slight issue in a little while.
So Murderdrome being pushed out there. Murderface.
So this will go down to the last... This jam will last 2 minutes. Got 11 seconds to go.
Both jammers are looking a little bit frazzled.
A full 2 minute jam. I'm not sure if we've seen many of those this tournament so far.
I used to have a rule that if a jammer falls over...
Certainly wasn't many of them in game number 1 on this track.
Oh yeah,
Definitely not.
Got knocked down at least 3 times.
Hans Offer back on his way, striding out to the middle once again, having a chat with head referee Totorod.
I just don't do it at all. Some days, it's like, nah.
Yes, game 1 on this track. The Reef City Roller Girls from Cairns got a lesson in a roller derby. The score blew out to 700 Victoria to 12 Reef City. Welcome to Div 1 Reef City.
I think as Reef City coming into that game, there was only one thing they could have hoped for, and that is to learn a lot about roller derby.
I think we all learned a lot about roller derby that first game.
Definitely, and who better to learn it from than VRDL?
Number 2 in the world, apparently.
Number 1 for a slight moment in there. It lasted a couple of hours until some other differentials happened, I think, and that's an unofficial one, though. But
And definitely the number 1 ranked team in Australia.
definitely.
And it's good to have that sort of class at this tournament. We've got the number 1 team in Australia. They are currently number 2 in the world. And it's great to It's great for all the other skaters to come up against such experienced teams.
That means everyone in the audience has to dance.
That's right.
Hope you're not getting those crackles we're getting in our earphones at home, guys.
Snap,
But,
crackle and pop. I've already had my cereal for this morning, but if I didn't, I've just got a little bit more.
Seems to have gone away now, though, so let's just hope everything's still good.
Joe, how come the cheer clubs don't have any beatboxing?
Just caught up with Slap and Decker from Adelaide, who's actually looking after all of the tech across the venue this weekend. We haven't had a chance to catch up yet today, and she tells me that apparently over on track 2, that's all going out live as well. So if you've got the choice of 2 tracks to watch today, track 1 here and track 2 over in the other building, tracks 3 and 4 will be uploaded in the next week or so.
An unbelievable effort for the tech team too. We got some big screens everywhere. We've got computer screens everywhere. We've got microphones and commentators everywhere.
I think there's 5 microphones alone on this track.
Unbelievable.
It looks very official.
Just to bring the entertainment, the hot entertainment to you in your lounge rooms.
First jam then resulted in the charging penalty on Boniface.
So we've got about just under 15 minutes left of play here in Game 3, Track 1. It looks like our official review has been resolved, and once again we'll be back to action, but Toto Rod just coming over to the... Yep, just getting things back underway there.
Now, I'm not real good with maths there, but we're looking roughly at a 30-point differential.
Roughly, yeah.
So that's only 1 or 2 power jams away, and if the first game with VRDL was anything, that was 1 single jam, 30 points.
There was a couple of 42-point jams in our first game today, so anything is possible in the game of roller derby. And this is still anyone's game, and I know we say that all too often, but it is in this case.
Absolutely. It's only 1 power jam away, and Copper Flogging from Central Coast comes out lead jammer for Central. Copper Flogging back for her scoring pass. She gets through with ease.
4 points on the board for CCRDU.
Now, I was going to ask, will she call the jam off? And it looks like she's already answered that question for me. She calls off the jam before Westside can get to the back of the pack.
The last thing that Central Coast wants to do at this point in the game is risk any extra points to Westside.
We have Rory Spillmore up on the jam line, up against Betty Boo.
4 points a jam will get it done.
And there's plenty more jams left in this to do it. So Central Coast seem to have a plan. If they stick to it, they may be able to come through.
I like the way Central Coast is playing. Smart derby, hard, fast, cut it and quit it. But Westside's got other plans. Westside's more explosive out of the box, and we've got Rory Spillmore through for initial pass.
Rory knocked to the outside, recycled all the way back to the back of the pack.
Betty Boone makes contact with
Second attempt at passing through the pack now on her initial pass. Actually, no, scoring pass.
Betty Boone got knocked to the inside. She had a bit of a run up, and there was a big gap on the outside for her initial pass.
So, lead jammer, Betty Boone is...
We have a track cut.
Rory Spillmore skating around the outside for a truck cut penalty.
Go the full 2 minutes on this jam. And we've still got 1:10, so that means Rory's going to come back out in this jam as well. So let's see what Betty can do.
So we've got Betty Boom in a power jam situation. There's 5 points for that lap. This is what we talked about, the power jam situation. There's only 1 jammer on track, and if she has a quick couple of laps, that's all she needs. There she's through again. There's a 10-point jam so far.
Especially with only 2 Westside blockers to pass in that scoring pass. Now 3.
Now watch your teammates go and help her out, split that pack. Betty Boom through, that's a 3rd pass. That's a 15-point pass so far. Now Westside Derby, I don't believe they've passed their initial pass. So Westside Derby now struggling for their first pass.
Betty Boone is trying to push them back of the Westside skaters. Unable to do so.
Rory Spillmore's through. No, I might have got that wrong, actually. Rory Spillmore was through the initial.
Yeah, she had cleared her initial on the first pass there. Both jammers approaching the pack now. Betty Boone.
And no point scored.
My apologies for the people at home.
0-0 for that last pass. 19 points for the Jam to Central Coast, 4-2 West Side.
A very important jam there for Central Coast. One power jam in it. That's a 19-point jam.
And that brings us down to a 17-point game.
Hey, now we're talking. Now we're only definitely one jam in it. 11 minutes to go. Plenty of time for both teams.
Plenty of time to pick up those points. West Side have some defensive play to do. They are out. She's your lead jammer.
Copper Flogging gets stuck in traffic. She's way back there while West Side Derby Doll comes out lead jammer. Belter Skelter. Number 99 in the pink and blue West Side.
She calls the jam off before Copper Flogging gets back to the pack for a scoring pass. 3 points to West Side, 0 for Central Coast in that jam.
Now it seems to me West Side have just got the chills up them. They've just decided to play some smart derby for a couple of jams.
Now we have maths anyone can do for the scoreboard. 20 points even in it.
Looks like the West Side bench setting up for a timeout. There it comes.
Team timeout going to West Side.
Does look like West Side just called a team timeout.
I think that's an excellent use of a team timeout. The momentum was starting to sway the other way. Central Coast were getting closer. Time to regroup, spend some time and have a chat. If you were their bench manager, what would you be saying right about now?
Well, what I'd say is we've got the lead. Keep the lead. Play smart derby. Keep your defence. And just hit it and quit it. 4 points per jam.
Yep, they have enough of a lead to protect by just hitting it and quitting it. Don't need to be big scoring jams, just play it safely. And actually that goes for either teams. Play it safely right now and the game's yours.
No, absolutely right. And then this way the Centrals played the game from the start. Westside came out firing. They had a few flare jams, some big 15-point jams. And then Centrals just clawed it back one jam at a time.
Live on your screen, you can see Hans Offerback having a chat to his squad there. I think he'd be saying much the same thing, just only in a more animated fashion.
Well, this is the least animated I've seen him all day. Very calm and collected. Looked like a very well-drilled team, too.
All right, we've got 10 minutes left of this derby.
The team, of course, coached by Hans regularly, and he does work with them a lot, so he's an integral part of that squad. He doesn't just step up to bench manage occasionally or anything like that. He is part of that squad as much of any of them.
460, which is Murderface.
Suggestive, of course, as calm as ever, the second bench on the Central Coast team. Cropophilia jamming for Central Coast. She's at the back of your pack against a wall of blue there, fighting her way through. She does get through, lead jammer.
Yeah, great work there from Cropophilia. Murderface is still stuck in some traffic. Westside have just had 2 blockers sent to the penalty box. That could be costly. So Murderface is through for her initial pass.
Cropophilia, one to pass now on her scoring pass.
Cropophilia just takes 1 point, which is 1 point is 1 point. But
1 point is always 1 point, and it's far better than none, especially when your opponents didn't score any in that jam.
Absolutely. Keep your opponent to 0.
19 points in it, 9 minutes and 19 seconds left. We're about to get underway for jam number 16.
Looks like Crosby Wills is smash up against Copper Flogging. Both these two.
Copper Flogging for Central Coast lining up against Crosby there.
Mama Panda quickly calling for an official timeout there. I think it might be for track repair. No, it's a penalty box issue, and I'm seeing an insubordination issued. No, it's a foul out. That is 3-0-4. Did I just read that right?
That's awesome. Animal's awesome.
Nope. 3-2, sorry.
So she's just
3-2. That's Scrim Henson for Westside, who has fouled out of the game now. She'll be returning to the dressing room and having a think about her penalties.
I think she was just eager to go straight to the bar, to be honest with you, but
pretty much every skater's on
quite costly for Westside, losing a player.
Definitely, and there is quite a few letters up on those penalty boards behind Mum and Panda. Quite a few letters for this game, so it has been a pretty penalty-heavy game.
It's Crosby Wills and Smash who's lead jammer right now. She's going to want to put points on the board to stretch out this lead.
So Crosby from Westside is lead jammer. It is a fast pack. What will she do? Will she hit it and quit it?
Takes a little apex hop, calls the jam off, picks up her 4 points.
Now that's what we suggested Smart Roller Derby Westside should need to do, and I've just executed our plan.
We've got 8 minutes and 26 seconds left in this game. It is absolute crunch time for these two teams.
88 from Central Coast, Betty Boom lining up, and she'll have other plans.
Rory comes round the outside.
Betty Boom got shut down on the inside. She tries the outside.
Skaters getting through.
She's getting some heavy fire there from Westside. Meanwhile, Westside are at lead jammer.
This is exactly the plan that Westside need to be following if they want to win this. They want to keep their lead. They need to be out first. They need to be on their game, calling it off when they're ready. And a track cut awarded to her.
Oh, that could be costly. I thought she was about to cut that off and hit it and quit it. That gives Betty Boom the opportunity to now put some points on the board.
One block at a pass. She steps around to the outside. She goes down 2 as well, though, out to the outside. Hands telling her to keep skating, and she does. She's fine.
Yeah, she didn't need to be recycled there. The blocker that
had
hit
also
her
gone out. Once again, she's back to the pack. Another scoring pass. She's fighting away against a wall of blue. Every blocker from Westside forming that wall, making sure she can't get past. She's knocked to the inside.
Betty Boom sets herself up for the outside, gets a small little tap that gets through. There's another 4 points there for Central Coast, Betty Boom.
Rory Spillmore back onto the track from the penalty box. She finds herself with 3 Central Coast blockers to contend with.
Meanwhile, Betty Boom is at the back of the pack. She'll be looking to get through.
And just a quick confirmation.
8 points so far for Central Coast in this jam. None to Westside. They're about to pick some up as they enter the pack.
No pack call.
She's straight back up on her feet, putting points on the board.
Betty Boom's got another 4 points. She's through. This is a 12-point jam so far for Central Coast. Very valuable this time of game.
Well, as the clock ticks down, it's gems like that they need to stay relevant. Every gem like that they get, they stay in that game for a little bit longer and not let the difference get away from them as the clock does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what Hans Offerback was talking about in that team timeout there. Cool, calm, collective and smart roller derby.
And Hans is certainly one of those bench managers that I've seen on many occasions use the clock very wisely. So he'll be counting those numbers down in his head. He'll know exactly where that clock's at and what they need to do to take this home.
Right, so Copper Flogging is jamming for Central Coast. She's got 2 more defenders to get past before she comes out as lead jammer, and she's just done that. Lead jammer, Copper Flogging.
It is not going to schedule, but it's in fact it is. Copper Flogging has got the lead jammer.
Hot on her heels is Belter Skelter.
All over the place.
It does look like it's hit it and quit it roller derby.
Some amazing footwork there around the front wall of the pack by Copper Flogging. Picking up the points, calling it off.
Belter Skelter good enough to squeeze 2 points out of that. Well done.
0 points.
0 points.
Footwork there by Copper Flogging, but not enough to get her hips past.
Well, that was a very deceiving jam, that.
It was.
It looked like Central Coast was full in control, but well done, Belter Skelter. She's just outscored the lead jammer now.
We've got the Copper Trio coming in and out. Copperphilia is trying to push her way through.
Copperphilia finds a path through the middle of the pack. She's your lead jammer for this jam.
Murderface gets stuck in some traffic, hits the inside line. She's through for the initial pass.
Copperphilia has a just over half lap lead over the west side. She comes up against a wall of blue in the back of the pack, gets pushed back and calls it off to play it safe. Better 0-0 than to lose any points there.
Oh no, it looks like Copperphilia scored 2 there.
Wow.
Or is that 3?
That is 2, 3.
Yeah, we're going to call that a 3-point pass there for Copper Flogging.
The scoreboard has called it a 3, so I think we'll agree.
Yeah, I like it's a pretty accurate scoreboard.
Crosby Wilson smash.
159. Central Coast clawing back. 171 Westside Derby Dolls. It's going to be a nail biter.
Copper Flogging with one or two blockers up to go in the front of the pack. They swarm around her and knock her into the inside. Meanwhile,
Crosby gets through. Lee Jammer for Westside Derby Dolls. Crosby.
Copper Flogging having trouble getting through Goldie, but Crosby's made her way.
Crosby's got 4 defenders to work with. A huge wall of grey and silver.
Copper Flogging finally making her way out of the pack. She is coming around now on her scoring pass also.
Crosby looks to the bench. She's not going to call off the jam. She's going to go around again. Meanwhile, Copper Flogging is through. She's got 4 points as well.
4-4 jam so far. Both jammers approaching the pack.
Lovely work there from Crosby, coming through the pack, calling off the jam.
6-5 jam there.
Yeah, Copper Flogging was good enough to get 1 point. Gee, she's quick.
We've got just under 3 minutes left in this game. The scores are still close, with Westside having the advantage at this point. And if they keep playing the derby they've been playing all half, they will take it home.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 or 2 jams to go, probably 2 jams at the moment. About 13 points, point differential.
Done a great job tonight. Rory's trying to get through this wall of CCRDU blockers. She's trying to push, and she might.
So Central Coast has got Betty Boom through for her lead jammer.
Rory's contained there with CCRDU.
Betty Boom comes round. Betty Boom comes round for her scoring pass. She finds that very easy. That's a very nice pass. That's a full 5-point grand slam, well earned.
Natural grand slam too. The other jammer still on the track at the time.
Here she comes, Betty Boom. There's another 4 points. There's 6 points to go.
Doesn't get much closer than this, Mr. Mayhem.
This has been a 9-point jam so far. Can Betty Boom? 1 minute left on the time clock. Enough time for one more jam. Will she call it off? No, she's not going to call it off. She's going to come around. She's aiming for the win. There's 4 points. Betty Boom.
And skaters are going everywhere here on the track.
This is a 13-point jam so far. The scores are level. Betty Boom coming through. Can she get the lead? There's a 4. 4 more points to Betty Boom. 181 apiece. 181 apiece. The scores are level.
55 seconds left in this game. These jammers are tired.
Oh my God, amazing roller derby. Central goes clawing back. The scores are level. 17-point to 4 jam. Betty Boom.
Unbelievable derby here at the Great Southern Slam. 181 apiece with 34 seconds left on the period clock for the game.
I am at the edge of my seat. I have no fingernails left.
The crowd is going absolutely wild here in the main arena of the Adelaide Showgrounds at Wayville. The crowd
CCRD fans are screaming their lungs out.
To all the Central Coast fans watching at home who I know you're up and shouting too.
Oh, and the West Side fans are out now. Everyone's on their feet. West Side fans are screaming West Side. Central Coast fans are yelling Central Coast. Oh, here we go.
181 apiece.
181 all. Everyone's come down. In fact, people from tracks 2, 3 and 4 are coming over to track 1. What a sensational finish. This is the closest game we've had so far.
Definitely, yeah. There's always a couple of very close games at the TGSS. Last year it was in Western Dragon City. I was bench managing it. I know how Hans feels at this time.
He's very calm and collected though, Hans. He's doing a great job. So we've got Belter Skelter in the pink and blue.
And Copper Flogging for the Central Coast United.
Come on, Copper Flogging, what can she do? Belter Skelter out as lead jammer. Oh, the crowd goes wild. Looks like Copper Flogging is also out.
The pack speeds up.
It is a fast pack. Belter Skelter coming to the back of the pack to put some points on. Belter Skelter calling off the jam. Belter Skelter takes 2 points to Copper Floggin 0 there. West Side Derby Dolls celebrating.
Picks up the 2 points for the victory. Unofficial score 183 to 181.
Well done there to Belter Skelter. Coming out of the pack, firing, hits lead jammer status, calling off the jam and takes 2 points, 2 valuable points.
What a game. We're just giving the referees a minute here to double check the maths and check those scores before they make it final.
15 minutes, tie game at 59 minutes.
Wow.
We're just getting the official results.
It's not over until
From live on track, it does look like West Side are happy. They're almost starting to celebrate.
You're going to be touching the hands of a champion today.
There's the official final score. Westside Derby Dolls 91.
That is the official final score. Central Coast Roller Derby 181. West Side Derby Dolls taking the lead in the last jam, 183 by 2 points.
What a game, Mr. Mayhem. What a game.
Game of the round so far, the closest game.
Big shout out, of course, to Spank Alley, to Clinic, Hellcat Clothing, BSS Light and Audio, and of course our gold sponsor, Rydell.
And of course, can't forget the Adelaide Showgrounds, this magnificent venue.
The best venue for Derby in the country, in my opinion.
Rightio, going through the West Side of Derby Dolls, the victors, going through their team list. That was Rory Spillmore, Crotch Candy, Crosby Wilson Smash, Susie Quantro, Scrim Henson, who's been on the sideline for the last 3 jams, Sadistic Smell, Chronic Jack Payne, Murderface Chuka, Goldie Blocks Kapow, Biffy Kaleido, and of course Belter Skelter, the hero in the last jam.
And the Central Coast Roller Derby United were Jugs, Helvetica Bold, Copper Floggin, ER Rushinol, Ratbag, Rogue Bludger, Howlin' Knight, Shazam, Belter Goodrum, Copperphilia, Makita, Minnie Mayhem, and Betty Boom.
Thank you so much for tuning in your lounge rooms. My name is Mr. Mayhem. It's been a pleasure bringing this game to
and
you.
I am the Flat Track Protocol, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, Mr. Mayhem.
Thank you very much. We'll hand over to the next game.
Actually, bear with us for just 1 minute. We will have some interviews coming up in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Sensational. Oh.
Till the camera person gets there.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
Far
Nail
out.
biter. Holy. Can I swear? No, shouldn't swear. Just got to keep that in mind because I have a terrible potty mouth. When I'm announcing, I always get it. I announce when I'm not playing. I broke my spine like 2 years ago, and so I announced for a really long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm chronic Jack Pain.
Oh, no.
I used to be Jack the Quick.
Yeah, right.
And then I started talking.
All right, so I'm standing here with Chronic Jack Payne, who is loving the fact that they just won an absolute nail-biter. How do you feel?
Oh, I don't even know quite yet. There's a lot of different feelings. They're all in there together. Relieved and also like really happy with how we played.
Was that your first game of the TGSS?
Yes, yeah, first game at TGSS. I was a little baby yellow star last time, so.
Well, it's a great way to start. What do you got for the rest of the TGSS? You got another game coming up today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're playing Otway Derby Dolls Growlers.
Well, good luck for that one. You certainly smashed it out here in an absolute nail-biter. Great work, Chronic Jack Payne.
Oh, thanks so much. And I didn't bow out.
One of the only few. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Hans.
Hans.
Hans Offerback. Nice to meet you.
Hans, how are you, mate? There was a lot of contentious issues there. Came out and had a few official reviews.
Yeah, I think it was coming from both sides. We had a couple of issues with it, but you get that's roller derby. It's just, it's our job to point them out, hopefully fix them.
Was that your first game of this TGSS here?
It sure was, and I think we got Otway at 7:30 tonight.
Another game tonight.
Yeah.
Well, your girls are probably going to be pretty tired after that nail biter. It was an absolutely electric finish.
Yeah, I think, we'll hope the adrenaline runs through a little bit and that pushes it a bit. But, we're taking game by game. So at this point, we weren't thinking about the next game. We're here to win the pool. And we're still in with a shot at doing that. So.
Well, I tell you what, your girls did not give up right until the very end, so you should be very proud and very happy for them.
Yeah, always am. They chip away, and they deal with issues really well, and we just go out and try and execute what we train. So.
Well, great job and enjoy the rest of the tournament.
We'll give it a go. Thanks, Dan Under Derby TV and TGSS. Love you guts. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. No worries, mate.
Run the stuff. Run the names website. Definitely. And it, for those of us who are older, it elicits feelings of that person's escape. So you're initially a bit like, it's like going, there's another horse in the car lap. You would kind of expect it to go fast.
I don't know. One of my jerseys never arrived that I ordered. It's outside and I'm thinking I'd order it with a different name. But I'll tell you, I think I might get one that says Jack Helder. I just put in an order for a t-shirt that says "Pop shit get hit." So I've got to stick with Dominic Cripps for a while.
Yeah. I do like NPL. Have two. Who the other go?
Yeah, that's what I do actually. Thinking about like 10 shirts.